Hey guys, this is Anastasia Autumnfire, and this video is actually for, I'm not sure what it's called, but a fellow YouTuber, and I'm sorry I did not write down the name, and if I did, I don't have my notes near me, proposed that we do an Ember Honey Raven Day, just to send out love and light and positivity and all that fun stuff to a woman that's part of the Pagan online community that, for me at least, has been such an insane inspiration. I can't begin to explain the influence she's had on me and really how much she's taught me through her videos. Whatever your thoughts are, whatever you personally feel, she is, if nothing else, extremely authentic. She is herself. She tells you exactly who she is, where she comes from, what her thoughts are. She sticks by her friends. And she just explains things that the way she sees them, and she doesn't make apologies for them, which is something I am completely in awe of, because that is something I struggle with so bad. But she really has been just such an insane, positive, and strong figure in the YouTube community, in the Pagan community online. And speaking as someone who really, this is kind of, up until recently, this has been my classroom of sorts, is especially YouTube, but online. I've recently started working with a group that has been teaching me more and more every day, which is awesome. But before that, I looked to YouTube and looked to see what other pagans were doing, because in my neck of the woods, there may be a lot of them, but I don't have access to them, and even if I did, I would probably be such a noob that I wouldn't know what to say or what to do and probably stumble over myself. If you've seen my videos, you know that happens. I just talk and talk and talk and don't necessarily ever get to the point. But when I first stumbled across her channel, here was this, I mean, just this, sorry, I know I'm stammering quite a bit today. I don't know the words to quite convey just how much of a personality she is. And when I first came across her YouTube channel, there was this instant stop and listen feeling and message that I got. And she just is so incredibly and insanely real. And I get that that's kind of a ridiculous thing to call someone, because of course she's real, she's a person, but there's no gravitas, there's no just over the topness, there's no hey look what I can do kind of BS that really aggravates me about certain people, especially when you're somewhat of a newbie in the Pagan community and really don't know where to fit in. The minute you see someone who toots their own horn constantly, you're just kind of like, okay. And she was one of, I mean, quite a few people on YouTube will say, you know, the minute you say you know everything, it's time to move away from this, because really that's not a thing. But she was just who she was from the beginning. You know, this is who I am. And she was also one of the first people that I heard bring about, you know, just how in social situations in the Pagan community, we can cross these lines. Once you find a paganistic path, and I think it's true of many spiritual paths. I don't mean to narrow it just to paganism, but in many spiritual paths where it is about the path, not necessarily about the person preaching, it crosses all these social boundaries. You know, people that you would never really talk to, people that maybe you don't have a whole lot in common outside of this path, as long as you have that spiritual connection and kind of this common ground, it's amazing what you can see in them and what you can talk through with them, and just the connection you can have. I realize I'm not saying it as eloquently as she probably did, but I hope that makes sense. And really, I don't know why, but that is something that I think of every day. The minute I meet someone who doesn't have the same political views as I do, or doesn't have the same opinions on society and social commentary and things of that nature, I do slow myself down and think, I don't know their path, and who the Hades am I to judge this, that, or the other thing. And she really, her words were very instrumental in me finding that. So I heard that this was a thing, and I saw the video on the YouTube Pagan channel on Facebook, and I'm like, yeah, I'm in. I'm doing a craft, I'm doing a video, let's do this. So what I've done is I'm actually, because of sending these warm fuzzies and positivity out to Ember Honey Raven, I thought, I'm going to expand. I have a compassionate healing or love or just this positivity altar, basically, lack of a better phrase, where when I see something in society that just breaks my heart, or I hear about someone passing and it wasn't their time, or just someone passing and it really hurt. Anytime I need to send comfort, love, healing, things like that out into the world, I go to this altar, I light my candle, I say a quiet prayer, light some incense, and I kind of do some workings. And so I thought I'm going to expand this altar to include a candle and an earthen witchy orb that will help to focus on the pagan community at large. So I made this candle, and kind of as a little nod to Ember Honey Raven, it is out of beeswax for the honey part of it. I don't know why, I just got a kick out of that thought. And then I wrote my little spell or prayer, just wishing positivity and love to the named ones and to the community just as a whole. Around the rim, I put a incense blend to also promote healing, compassion, love, all that jazz. That charged in the full moon last night with an amethyst, a rose quartz, and a crystal quartz. Amethyst, again, it connects to divinity. It has that divine love and protection. For me, it also aids with astral travel. I don't know if anyone else has found that, but I have. So I thought, that's a really good way to send these thoughts out and about. Rose quartz, of course, unconditional love, healing, warmth, kind of that nurturing that we all need, and encouragement. And then crystal quartz point, amplification of energies. These are the energies I want to amplify to perhaps the person named, but also to the community in general, because let's be honest, we all need a little healing, love, and comfort at times, right? And I purposefully also chose 3 raw stones. I did not, or rough. I didn't want a polished stone for this. This was also kind of in a nod to Ember Honey Raven. And this might be a little odd, but I'm going to flow with it because that's what I got. She is a very, as I stated, authentic, and it can come across raw at times. She is who she is. She has her emotions, and they are out there, and it is something that intrigues us and draws us in, and also I think makes people endearing. When we see their vulnerabilities, when we see the rough edges, I think we can get that connection to that person so much more than we could if it's their polished and pretty selves, if that makes sense. So I wanted that raw energy to be included. So I charged that blend. I made a little sachet big. My crossroads got a little off kilter, but it's that whole idea that magic doesn't have to be perfect. It's about the intent, right? I wrote in the witch's alphabet a prayer that very much echoed the candle. basically just stating, use these energies given to connect to the person named and to the community at large, and send them warmth, comfort, and help them find their way. Again, I thought to make a wheel, kind of symbolizing the wheel of the year, or the whole, and then cutting it into fours for the 4 seasons. And then in those coordinates, I have witch's rune for abundance, witch's rune for the star, which is all about wish and manifestation, witch's rune for air, I believe, or wind. I am sorry, I left it on my notes and I can't remember if it's air or breeze or wind. I can't remember the exact thing, but it's about knowledge, sending out knowledge and logic and just kind of clarity. And then of course the I for intuition. And then the wheel itself, the coordinates I changed, I made to represent the witch's rune of the crossroads. Then we use the witch's rune of the moon to symbolize feminine magic, the sun for masculine magic, and then of course the symbol for the man, the man, and the woman. All witches runes, all kind of crossing each other, so you have that connection. What I'm going to do, and I wanted to show you, but now holding the camera and doing this, I'm not sure I can do this all one-handed. But the idea is this blend will end up in this bag, and then it will go into this earthen witchy orb. Please ignore the mess behind. I did not clean up as well as I thought I did. It's just a grapevine ball, and I put the sachet bag in the center of it. And then normally I'll have ribbon that I wrap and intertwine throughout the twigs. I'm not doing that with this one. The spell on this case I put completely and in detail on the bag. Somehow I got it all to fit. So I'm not going to put the ribbon through, if you've seen any of my other videos where I do an earthen witchy ball. I'm not going to do that. Instead, I put a little, granted it's a little Halloween-y, but a little raven on top. Again, this is a nod to Ember Honey Raven, but also I think the raven is, I mean, it's such an amazing messenger in the magical realms. And so I thought, you know, what better totem to use to signify sending these energies out but a raven. So I did use a raven, and I did choose one with, they had orange and they had green. Orange is for happiness, which is I'm always happy about, and I'm all about that energy. But I did choose green for healing, kind of growth, fertility. Not so much that I want everyone to have babies, because that's not the fertility I mean. More fertility of creativity, fertility of inspiration, fertility of knowledge, things of that nature. So yeah. So we have that, and then the plan is, and I think I might do a video just to show the finished product since I can't create it on this video like I was originally intending. But you put the sachet bag in the middle, that's what powers the thing, and then you have the raven to send out the energy, and who it sends the energy to, aside from just the community at large, is this yellow ribbon. And I chose yellow for happiness, for solar energy, because the raven is such a mystical and magical, otherworldly totem of sorts. I wanted yellow to signify the sun and solar, which is really the guardian of the power, I should say, of the physical realm. So that way we have both connection to spiritual and physical. And I'm using pink ink for love and that healing of the rose quartz. And I have Ember Honey Raven's name written, and I'll just simply tie it to the orb, and that way the orb knows who needs the energy specifically. And I powered this also with the High Priestess and the Magician card. Again, just trying to get those magical elements of intuition, but also control of them, and both feminine and masculine. So that, in a nutshell, are my crafts and my warm fuzzies for Ember Honey Raven. I am going to follow this up showing the completed witchy orb. Thanks, guys.